Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay, there we go. Big country. Oh, I can't use the horse? Mass effect. Yeah, Houston's losing a lot lately, ain't they? What's going on over there? Alright, let's summon the Mimic. Yeah, it happened to a nice organization. Okay, so... Hey, Snacks, how you doing tonight? Welcome to the stream.
Stuck on this section in Fallen Order. I'm like, I don't know how to get out, and I thought that this was just a puzzle for the sake of it kind of section, but I really need to pass this puzzle thing in order to advance the story because I can't get out of this area. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. And then it keeps saying, press down on the directional pad to get a hint from BD1. And I do that, and then this motherfucker just dances on my back. Like, literally, he just starts spinning on my back. Like, I'm like, that's not a hint. Like, unless he's trying to say, try spinning, that's a good trick. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find a video on it pretty easily. There are some puzzles that are difficult to figure out that game. Is there no fast travel in Fallen Order?
Not that I'm
because
aware
in
of.
Jedi Survivor there is, but I couldn't remember if that was new or not.
Oh, actually, that's fucking perfect. I didn't realize that. Move that back, get it out.
So, according to Waj, there is a actually pretty long list of teams willing to give Draymond like a pretty significant deal, which I don't get. I think he's completely shot now.
Yeah, he's pretty fairly washed, but still got to work to know that for sure, and maybe you know, a million different fucking other things we could say. Who knows?
Yeah, Marsh, the Aaron Donald stuff is like super fake. The Rams are not going to trade him inside the division. That's absurd. Damn it. Thought I had a nice little cadence there. No, nope, 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 nope. No, it's too late to cut Jamal Adams. Part of his contract is already vested for the season. The time to cut him was a long time ago. Now you're like setting money on fire. If you were going to cut him, you should have cut him like within 2 weeks of the Super Bowl or something. So unless they get really bad news from the doctors, I can't imagine that happens. And that's still possible, by the way, admittedly. Like, if the doctors say we don't know if he's ever going to play again, maybe we just move on. That could happen. I think Vita Vee's still on Tampa. I don't think they've cut him. Oh, nice. Hell yeah, we opened up a shortcut. Let's go, baby. I like it. I believe so, Marsh. I don't think he's going to be there super long. Okay, what do I need? Another 22 grand to level up one more time? Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can bang that out. Close.
Oh, okay. I never would have known that. Alright.
So overall, what do you think of Fallen Order as a game so far?
It starts out extremely slow to the point where it's actually difficult to enjoy the game. When you're starting out, you literally need to just grind until the game unlocks enough mechanics for you to actually enjoy being able to play it. A lot of games are like that. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but what's baffling to me is that this is such an expensive game to make, such a hyped game, such a beloved game, and all this other kind of shit. And I'm all like, this, if it hadn't been for, you know, all the different things it has going for it in terms of people getting eyes on this and giving it a chance, I think a lot of people would have not liked this game. As it, to me, it's just extremely slow to start, and it's extremely dry. Story-wise, I just can't.
The main reason why people like Fallen Order is it's basically a Dark Souls game, but easier. The combat is basically Dark Souls, but we made the game actually, like, simpler to pick up. And I think a lot of people like that, because they like the style of Dark Souls, but they can't handle how hard it is. It's like a union of Dark Souls and Uncharted.
But I can definitely tell and feel like this is just not, by and large, my style, and it's... Ugh.
Oh yeah, Marsh, there just isn't a lot to talk about right now. Hey, Austin. Yeah. Well, Marsh, I think if we needed anything right now, we need like middle linebacker depth. We have nothing behind our starters. Like that's definitely a problem spot for this defense. I mean, Marsh, edge rusher is a position where it's hard to have too much, right? Like you can always add more pass rushers.
No. I need to do better than this. Oh, don't pay me any more. Just lay out your...
Yeah, let me see here. Man.
Greetings. Are you here for spirit?
Ooh. That's not that big of a deal right now.
Okay, so I guess I just don't need this one anymore. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, Marsh, there are some real problems with Daryl Taylor. He's very one-dimensional. And I don't know if that's ever not going to be the case, so... I don't... And also, some of these... Like, Nwosu's in the last year of his deal. Things like that, too, have to be considered.
Barnacles. Maybe I should stand here and get killed. That's my plan. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Fuck's sake, me roast is buggered.
Needs, feed, and seed. Did you know that was a Simpsons meme?
Yes.
Because I did not until today. I thought it was just some guy misspelled seed.
No, Sneed's been glommed on by a lot of our brethren for quite some time. Yeah.
I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, I like it, but I didn't know it was a Simpsons thing.
Yeah, Sneed's feed and seed. Formerly Chuck's. Chuck's suck and fuck.
Yeah. Surprised they got away with that, honestly.
I stole these shoes from a black fella, what the fuck?
Dude, fucking prank YouTubers are getting out of hand.
No, your soil's modded. Yeah, no, I agree. It's like, obviously, I will never stop calling it Staples Center. So I'm gonna keep calling it Staples Center. But the fucking security at Staples Center is abysmal that they let that guy get through. And like, again, that's also an excellent point. The whole face mask shit, really not good because of how easy it makes it for people to sneak past security checkpoints like that. But you know, the guy's just doing it for YouTube content, but he could very easily have nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
in mind, and more to the point, because he's doing that and making it fucking YouTube content.
He's making money off of it. Test.
What?
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay. I thought my mic cut out. But, yeah, it's like next video is like, today we're going to impersonate a Staples Center, no, a Lakers assistant coach and try to convince LeBron James that his family just died in a car accident.
Jesus.
Like it's just gonna be shit like that eventually. It's like, man.
Yeah, it's terrible. And with him making that as YouTube content, it almost damn near becomes a fucking tutorial for how to sneak past security. And it's like, okay, so no one cares if it happens to LeBron, but let's say that somebody else gets fucking John Lennon, you know, some guy sneaks on there, hey, I'm your biggest fan, blah blah. That's not cool. So, yeah, that guy, he should have his YouTube channel should be deleted, for that kind of fucking content, because literally what he's doing is he's trespassing.
Yeah.
Literally. He is filming himself committing a crime. That has to be against terms of service. And the NBA should not just hit him with a cease and desist, you know, because like banning him isn't enough. They should actually file a suit against him.
I was watching it thinking it for sure he was just going to get busted immediately and it'd be like, haha. But then he actually got in there and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, Marsh, I am not playing Elden Ring multiplayer. This is just me.
See, here's what's crazy to me though. Like, he sneaks onto the court. People genuinely think he's Austin Reeves. Why wouldn't he bang one of the cheerleaders? Like, what has he got to lose? Good God. Because, I mean, at that point, it's got to be like a layup, right? Like,
If they actually think he's Austin Reeves,
yeah, you know.
because Austin
Of course,
Reeves is going to get a $90 million contract this offseason.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like in Better Call Saul. It's all like, you know, obviously I'm not Kevin Costner, but she thought I was, and that's, oh god.
I actually read a thread once debating whether or not it was illegal, if it's illegal to impersonate a celebrity for the purposes of sexual liaison.
I don't think it is strictly in a letter of the law illegal. However, there's a major push to get things like that. And that kind of thing makes me think that a judge may be willing to hear it. You could actually end up in some actually pretty serious legal ramifications because of that. Because there's a large push by women in the United States today to have, if a man is misrepresenting himself, to have him be charged with sexual assault, because it's essentially sex under false pretenses. Now, that is complete horseshit. Total fucking bullshit. If you decide that you want to have sex with somebody for no other reason than you think that the guy has a lot of money, fortunate that you got taken advantage of, but like, holy shit. You know, you can't you can't say that guy deserves to go to jail just because you decided that it was worth having sex with somebody because you thought that they had money. That is really, it's fucked up. It's not something you should be doing in the first place, and so on. But there's enough of a push from enough women out there that it's something that's being considered, and it has been considered for a number of years now. And considering the direction the society is going in, I think we could easily see a future where that ends up being a thing. So if something as simple as the guy had a Tinder account where he posed in front of a Porsche, and when he went to pick me up in his Hyundai, he said that he got into an auto accident and his Porsche's in the garage. This is the car that the dealership gave him to use in the meantime. And I believed it, and because I thought he had a Porsche, because it was on his Tinder account, I had sex with him, and then it turned out that he owned the Hyundai and he worked at a gas station. You know, that's something that, like, it's easy for us to see that as being scummy and like, ah, jeez, come on, whatever. But at the same time, like, you really slept with the guy because of that? Seriously? Jesus. But if they're gonna sit there and say that that shit should be illegal, that shit should be classified as sexual assault, then that guy, because he looks like Austin Reeves, actually trespassing, getting into Staples Center, onto the court pretending he's Austin Reeves, and then tries to rizz up a cheerleader, yeah. If it actually worked, I think that cheerleader would definitely have the ability to be like, oh, that's sexual assault. I thought he was actually Austin Reeves. So fucked up. Because, I mean, when you think, it's all kinds of legal gray areas in that kind of sense, because you look like somebody. Like, if a husband and a wife, they're together, and the husband, it turns out he's an identical twin, and his twin one day and banged his brother's wife, and the wife thought that just was her husband, she should probably have
Yeah, apparently that is illegal because the thread's conclusion was that it would be illegal if Jimmy had sex with Kevin Costner's wife because she thought he was Kevin Costner, or there was already a sexual relationship between that woman and the real Kevin Costner. Then it would be illegal. But if it's just, like I'm trying to impress a girl by saying I'm this or I'm that, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's not fine, but
Fine in the sense of if you're actually sleeping with the guy just based off of that, then you're a fucking moron. Yeah, I know.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah.
If they actually make that illegal, then soon, like, every single interaction between men and women is going to be like George in the opposite episode. My name is George,
Yeah.
I'm unemployed, and I live with my parents.
Yeah, seriously. And that's the thing, and like, oh god. Shit's hard enough as it is, man. Make it even worse.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you this yesterday and I forgot. Have you ever hit the button or left feedback in the DoorDash app saying I didn't feel safe or whatever? Or anything like that? Have you ever utilized that functionality?
No.
Okay.
I haven't felt the need.
Yeah. That's good.
Because I don't DoorDash in unfamiliar areas, and even when I was doing it at night, I made sure to go to places that weren't a shit heap,
And you get a text-to-speech overlay. I've thought about that. I don't know if that would really be good for my style, though. I have thought about that. It would probably, to prevent abuse, it would probably be a thing like you actually have to cheer some bits in order to get the TTS read, even if it was just like 10 bits or something. But I feel like that's kind of rife for abuse to get your to end up getting banned. Or subs only, yeah, that also works. Channel points. Well, channel points could be easily abused, but then again, I'm not Darkside Phil. It's not like I have a million enemies who would like come and harass me if I allowed something like that. Alright, Kiefer, question number 2. What is your least favorite word?
Oh, gosh.
So, have you gotten far enough in the game yet to where you meet that black woman who's like a former Jedi that cut herself off from the Force?
Yeah, and she looks really, like, weird. Like, I feel uncomfortable when she's on the screen.
Yeah, she does look weird.
Her eyes. Jesus, tap dancing Christ. Finally I fucking got out of that hellhole.
Yeah, I sent Snacks a meme a few days ago that was like, the Suns bench right now, and it was like 5 generic My Player players in 2K who all looked exactly identical.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
yeah.
pretty accurate. Like, the kind of shit that Phoenix is doing is something that Miami would be able to get away with because Miami has consistently throughout history been able to find diamonds in the rough. You know, guys that they signed for minimum deals that people have been passing on that ended up being fucking incredible. You know, this era of being able to pull that off started with Hassan Whiteside, and it's led to like half our roster being made up of guys like that who are fucking incredible. And it's not because they're bad players, it's because they needed the right circumstances to succeed and to flourish. And a lot of other teams in the league just suck so much ass that they can't properly set those guys up in a way that will let them succeed. As evidenced by, like, look at what Hassan Whiteside did after he left Miami, He spent like one season for the next two seasons. He was with the Blazers for 1 year, then he was with the Kings for 1 year, and then he busted straight out of the league. He's in Spain right now.
Rest in peace.
So Miami can pull that kind of shit off, where you're like, our bench has to be made up entirely of guys on minimum deals. They can pull that off. Phoenix cannot. Phoenix is not the kind of franchise that'll be able to pull off some shit like that. They just can't.
Yeah. It's kind of like, the Shaq, Kobe, Peyton, Malone Lakers. And even that team had, like, some depth, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah. So what's going to end up happening is that Phoenix is going to sign a bunch of guys to minimum deals because I mean, duh, they have to. But the guys they sign to minimum deals are going to suck. And the thing is, those guys are going to have to play humongous minutes. It's going to end up like Miami, where it was totally okay that they had guys like Struess and Caleb Martin and fucking going out there and balling out. It didn't matter because those guys were actually balling out. You're not going to get that in Phoenix. What you're going to get is complete shit heaps. And they're going to suck. Like,
Yeah, history does not remember the failed super teams, but there's probably a failed super team for every successful super team.
oh, there's quite a number more failures than successes.
Like, remember the Nash, Howard, Kobe, Gasol Lakers that barely made the playoffs and got swept?
I'll never be able to forget that. A lot of that shit was hilarious. Plus, like, it's way too interlocked in with some of the greatest moments in NBA history. Plus, there was just a lot of stuff in general to where you can't help but think about it because of stuff like that. Like we were talking the other day about when Dr. Buss died. He died during that season, and all of a sudden Lakers fans thought, okay, the stars will align. We'll actually win the ring this year because they're going to win it for Dr. Buss. Instead, first round exit, Kobe tore his Achilles. Tim Duncan laughing at Dwight Howard. And that's another one. Tim Duncan laughing at Dwight Howard. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah, Dwight Howard got ejected from the Game 4 loss, I think.
Yeah.
That was a pretty low moment.
I don't know if he got ejected or if he just fouled out really early. I think he fouled out really early, and that was when Duncan was laughing at him. Because Duncan, he went fishing for a foul. He flopped. But he got the whistle and he got Dwight out of there, and, he's just laughing at him. But, there's way more failures than successes. I mean, you got that. You got when Charles Barkley went to Houston to team up with Clyde and Hakeem, but it was way too late.
Wasn't Pippen on that team too?
He may have been, and then that's another one is when Pippen went to the Jailblazers. That wasn't really a super team at the time, but in retrospect, it was.
Yeah, that was a good team.
Yeah. Obviously, when you mentioned Karl Malone and Gary Payton on the Lakers.
Obviously, the Nets with Kyrie, KD, Harden. That's the big one.
Right. The Celtics very nearly, even though they were successful and started the real super team era, they only won the chip once. They very nearly became a colossal failure. Fuck, the LeBron AD Lakers also very nearly fucking literally any Clippers attempt. So Kawhi and Paul George, Lob City.
Yeah, that barely feels like a super team though, because they only get like 50 games a year at most from those guys.
Yes, but at the time when they formed, that everyone thought, oh my god, it's a lock. Fucking, obviously the Suns this year, but the Suns, sorry, the Suns next season, because there's no way they're going to do it, but the Suns this past season also, because that was Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, fizzled out.
Ayton also. Not that
I don't
Ayton's
really
good, but
exactly. I don't really count him, but I guess some people could. Yeah, just a complete nightmare. Yeah, I'm done with this for now. I'm just actually bored. Like, I don't know why this game is popular. I think it's just what you said, where a lot of people have shitty taste and think those Souls games are good. And, hey, look, it's a Star Wars game that's like Dark Souls. I was just like,
It's like a combination of Dark Souls and Uncharted,
right.
basically.
And I mean, when I say that, it's like I'm not struggling. I'm not having a hard time. The combat system's pretty easy to figure out. Like you said, it's a lot simpler than other Dark Souls games. I'm just bored with the amount of like. In order to save and heal and everything, you also have to reset the enemy's existence.
Right.
So you just slog back and forth, chewing through these fucking people, over and over and over and over again. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, that is a staple of Souls games. That is, like, probably the most important key element of Souls games.
To me, it's excruciatingly boring. I just can't enjoy this.
What would you say is the best Star Wars game ever? Is it still KOTOR 2?
It really depends on a lot of different things, especially in terms of what you're trying to look at when you think of and say best Star Wars game ever, because there's a lot of different bests based off of genre. If you're looking at the absolute fucking peak, regardless of genre, the absolute best. I could agree with Knights of the Old Republic too. But there's a lot of other games that are absolutely extraordinary, and especially have a great lifespan because of their modding community. So like Star Wars Empire at War, definitely a big one. I love the Kyle Katarn games. So,
Oh, yeah, I like those too. I played those.
So Jedi Outcast, really, really high up there. They've the piloting games like Star Wars Rogue Squadron, really fantastic.
Wasn't there, like, Rebel Assault or something?
Yeah. There was Rogue Squadron, Rebel Assault, Rebel Leader, lots of different things. But if I ever manage to afford doing VR, I'd love to play the one they came out with a couple years ago, Star Wars Squadrons, which was essentially another Rogue Squadron game in concept, but in VR. And I was like, that's fucking recipe for success right there. That'd be fantastic.
I was never big into Battlefront. I just didn't play it that much. I don't have, like, anything against it. I just didn't get a chance to play it that much. A lot of people love Battlefront.
People hated the Battlefront 2 because of the loot boxes, because the despicable practice. But once they learned their lesson with the public outcry and they addressed that issue and had the chance to add some additional content and stuff, the recent Battlefront 2 is actually pretty fantastic too, as far as online FPSs go. Like it's not hard to make a good Star Wars game. The problem is that too many of these developers get their hands on the license and they think Star Wars game. Whereas what you need to do is make the good game first, then put the Star Wars spin on it.
Right. That's exactly what KOTOR was.
Exactly. So it's like the biggest way to fuck all this stuff up is when they glom on to it being Star Wars. And obviously Fallen Order was a hugely successful game, and I'm sure that Jedi Survivor, the sequel, was also hugely successful. I'm not really enjoying it. right now because it's dry and grindy and slow. It's getting a little bit better as I go on and unlock more abilities, so like I feel like I get through the game faster, but I'm like, God, this just feels excruciating. And not enjoying it too much, but regardless of that, I know from the end of this game, very famous and everything, when Darth Vader shows up, and I'm like, dude, fucking quit it. Quit relying on Darth Vader. And that's the shit I'm talking about. I'm like, to me, the best Star Wars games are going to be ones that don't have Darth Vader in them.
What did you think
Rely
of the
on
Force
something
Unleashed?
else, man. It had a lot of potential. It was a very high risk, high reward game as an idea. And for when it came out, the physics system and everything that they used was absolutely extraordinary. It made a lot of advances, good advances, in a positive direction for the gaming industry. However, it aged like milk.
The game was
And
okay.
going back and playing it now is not really good. And exactly what you're talking about, for the game that it was when it came out at the time, the story was really bad. However, stories in games in general, like when it came out, like 2007 or some shit like that, back then stories in games were really hot fucking garbage. So that
The
was
same year
pretty much the end.
BioShock came out, so that can't be the only excuse.
Now you're talking about comparing, like I'm talking about at large. Like at large, games in general back then had awful stories. Then you just brought up one of the best game stories ever. Like, let,
Yeah, that was also the year Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, I think.
probably. Like, let's just say that the year the original Deus Ex came out, for the sake of argument, all the game stories, by and large, on average, were dog shit. And then you're like, it can't have been that bad of a year. That's when Deus Ex came out. Like,
It's also the year Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, which has either the
right.
best or the worst story ever. I don't know which one.
Let me see. When did The Force Unleashed come out? 2008. So, 2008 in video games. Release of Grand Theft Auto 4, which was the best GTA in terms of story and everything, and characters. Wonderful, wonderful game. The year the original Dead Space came out, the year Left 4 Dead came out, the year Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, the year Fallout 3 came out. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because I know you like it. Persona 4. Gears of War 2, World at War, Mirror's Edge, Battlefield Bad Company. The Force Unleashed, obviously, which is why we're looking at it. Da, 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 da. Yeah, and then like a lot of these stink. So industry standard, a lot of game stories were pretty mediocre. This is
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of the reason why the Souls stuff got so popular, because those games have no story. Dark Souls, Sekiro, Demon Souls, there's no story, it's just lore.
Yes, but at the same time, people have become so starved for excellent game stories that when one comes out, that I'm going to be straight up with you. As much as I love God of War 4 and Ragnarok, in the grand scheme of things, it's not like, oh my god, best story ever. It's all like, it's way above average. Bordering on excellent. However, it's not something I'd sit there and put into, the pantheon of all-time level fucking stories and everything. But people treat it that way because we're so starved for good stories that when one comes out, it's immediately crowned as like the Messiah.
Yeah.
because stories in video games have been so bad for so long. And God.
Yeah, well, I think also
Yeah.
some people confuse story with plot and story with characters. Like they're three separate entities.
Right.
Like for instance, I think the story of Persona 4 is actually kind of bad. The reason why that game is so good is the characters.
Right. Let me try to think of an example. Well, hell, a lot of different FPSs. They're exactly right there. Terrible, terrible stories. An exceedingly simplistic plot. However, the characters are good enough to where, at worst, they come away as being like a good action movie. Which is kind of exactly the kind of thing you'd expect. Then you look at Battlefield 1, which tried like hell to do, a good story in a game, but the like they tried way too hard, and then the whole thing just went to shit.
Or like, what was it? A Spec Ops: The Line was interesting. I don't know if it was good though. Like the story, that was an interesting attempt to do something, and I always respect trying. I think sometimes you try too hard, like maybe Metal Gear Solid 2 and Bioshock Infinite tried too hard, but I respect that way more than not trying at all.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like, you flew too close to the sun, but I prefer that to refusing to go anywhere near the sun.
What the fuck? Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm looking at the calendar right now. We have a lot of road games stacked together at the start of the season, and then you look at the end of the season, and it's like constantly just home games. And I'm like, who the hell thought this up? Like, what a meme.
Yeah, JS, I feel like The Last of Us, what was really good about The Last of Us was the presentation. Like, I don't think the story of The Last of Us is anything special. I think the story is presented very well.
And like we were saying about characters and everything, Joel is what made that shit work. Because regardless of what people may think, the story of the first Last of Us is a story about Joel. Because he's the first character that we're introduced to. The prologue is based around him losing his daughter at the onset of the outbreak. When they go to meet Ellie, it's him and Tess. He loses Tess, and then he connects with Ellie because even though he's reunited with his brother, he then loses his brother, and just he's lost fucking everything. Ellie's all he's got left. So now, even though there's the potential for him to cure this whole fucking thing, it would require Ellie to die, and then when he finds out that, these guys are quacks, they don't really know what the hell they're doing, and she's probably going to die for nothing, he said, fuck the whole thing, I don't care if this might end up curing the whole fucking thing, I'm not losing another. Which is why The Last of Us 2 sucked so much and was so poorly received, is it's not just that they killed Joel, but that when they moved on in terms of who the story was going to focus on, it was focusing on characters that we didn't care about. And the game never actually made you care about them. That's the whole fucking problem.
What's going to be really interesting is that they've already announced they're going to do Last of Us Part 2 for the HBO show. How is that going to do ratings wise when they, because they say they're going to do what they did in the game. Yeah, JS, that's been kind of the defining phrase, I feel, of the last 10 years of making media. Subvert expectations. Like, for a while, subverting expectations was like the best thing you could do. Now it's like a meme where everyone makes fun of it.
Yeah. And it's because subverting expectations in and of itself has become an expectation. Stories have gotten completely fucked up because people expect the twist so much, you know. And I keep coming back to it. I keep saying the same fucking thing. Is I'm a simple guy and I like the way that things used to be. It's not because I'm an old boomer and I don't like new things, but it's because the way that things used to be done is they wouldn't come up with a new idea. They wouldn't try to put a twist on it. They would come up with an idea and say, let's flawlessly execute this simple premise. Then it doesn't matter what the hell it's about. As long as you fucking do it right, it's gonna be good. You know, the original Star Wars. It doesn't matter that he basically ripped off a ton of different other things. He was inspired by all kinds of different fucking things and some that had been done before and all this other kind of shit. Who the fuck cares? It was flawlessly executed. That's why it was good, and that's why decades later we're still spending billions of dollars to see this fucking piece of shit. So, you know, who cares about the whole subverting expectations as long as the story's done well, and unlike George Martin, the story's fucking actually finished. That's all that matters.
I don't think George R.R. Martin's even good at writing stories. I think he's good at writing lore. Like, to me, that's what Game of Thrones is, more than anything. It's not a story, it's lore.
Yes, that is exactly correct. Because what he does, instead of finishing his fucking books, is he spends years writing side books. And the side books is world building, exactly like you're talking about, lore. He doesn't give a shit about finishing A Song of Ice and Fire, the story. He keeps writing background stuff. People keep sitting there like, oh, if only George had more time left in his life to finish and do all the things he wanted. I'm like, if this guy lived to be 1,000 years old, he still would never finish, because he doesn't want to. It's not because he can't, it's because he's much more involved in doing everything else. Like, he doesn't care about the fucking other shit.
Which is why Martin was the perfect writer to write Elden Ring. He actually wrote Elden Ring and he did a great job because these games don't have any story. They just have lore. Like, this happened a long time ago for this character, and because of that, you have to do this. Wait a minute. I fought my way all the way up those stairs and this door doesn't even open? Fuck you. Screw you. Man. I don't know, JS, but about a month ago, Snacks actually read a blog post from George R.R. Martin on stream where he talked about, you know, how sad he was that he wasn't able to finish the book yet, and he's going to do it as soon as he can. And it was written when Obama was still president.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I read it on stream, is because that was the first time that he allegedly thought he'd be able to finish the book, was in fucking 2015. So the famous blog post is from fucking 7 years ago now. It was the first day, January, he published at 1 a.m., January 2nd of 2016, where the book's not done, and he's all like, yeah, he thought he'd be done in 2015, and he had to break everyone's hearts telling him in 2016, the first day of 2016, that it wasn't done, and there's still a long way to go. It's been 7 fucking years. He's never gonna finish.
I think he could finish the next book, but he's never going to finish the last book.
Yeah. My God. We desperately need a power forward. An actual fucking power forward. Matt Bonner is not able to get these rebounds.
Matt Bonner was actually the top-ranked three-point shooter in one of the 2Ks. I can't remember which one.
All of them.
I always liked Matt Bonner.
So did I. Oh shit, future Stucky. The future is now.
Yeah, for a little while there, the Spurs just turned into like a factory that produced random nobodies who could shoot threes at 45% clips for like a couple months. Like Roger
Danny
Wilson
Green.
Jr.
Yeah, Danny Green will never not piss me off in his entire existence as a player, because he just magically became Steph Curry. Like,
Yeah, and he was a guy that
like
had
what
been
the
cut
fuck,
by
dude?
like Cleveland and shit. Like,
Right. And after he gave his life force for that shit, after he left the Spurs, he then went right back to being completely irrelevant, busted out of the league a few seasons later. Like, what the fuck? Why my team? He has to do that too.
yeah, I mean, he may have broken Ray Allen's record, but Ray Allen got the last laugh.
Well, are you sure though? Because Ray Allen was still on that 2014 Heat team.
Well, no, Danny Green broke the record the year that the Heat won anyway. He, like, broke the record for most threes in
Oh.
one finals. And then that was the one where Ray Allen hit the shot.
Yeah. I'm reasonably sure Steph Curry had to have broken it since then, right?
I'm pretty sure. I think he did against the Celtics.
Most threes made in a finals series. Okay, so Steph in the meme finals. And then, like you said, last year against the Celtics. Meme finals, by the way, when they choked and let the Cavs win. Then Danny Green. Then Steph in the first ring. Clay in the loss to the Raptors. Steph in the loss to the Raptors. Steph in the last time they beat the Cavs. Ray Allen in Boston. The year that they won. Clay in the meme finals. Clay last season. Jason Tatum last season. Steph Curry with the first Durant ring. Duncan Robinson in the year we lost to the Lakers. KD in the first KD ring. J.R. Smith in the first KD ring.
J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
One of these names
he's
ain't
actually
like
got
the...
Yeah, but like when you're looking at that, you're just sitting there like, God damn, like the Danny Green being third all time, like that's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, dude, please just fuck off and die. But Steph Curry appearing in the top 10. Like he's got like half the fucking appearances in the top 10. But then when you're looking at this whole list, you know, it's kind of extraordinary. Like, wow. When you go back far enough, ahead of guys like Jaylen Brown, Jay Crowder, and Chris Middleton in the last few seasons, you go back far enough, you see in this list in the mix is Dan Major.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He was on the Suns, right?
Yeah, so since this is for a final series, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, because when you think back, all these different records that show up, and they're all within the last 10 to 15 years. When the Suns lost to the Bulls, not only did you have Barkley was playing out of his fucking mind, but Thunder Dan was out there and set what was at the time most threes made in a final series record. Now, that's just bonkers.
Yeah. That Suns team, other than maybe, I guess you would say, the 79-win Warriors, they might be the best team to not win the ring. Like, that was a loaded team. Evan Johnson.
Xbox controller is trending on Twitter. What the hell?
Oh, I think I know what that's about.
What?
Okay, so I'm just gonna guess here, but earlier today, a submarine, a tourist submarine that houses like less than 10 people, got lost in the Atlantic Ocean. Nobody knows where it is. So they've been talking about it on the news today, and apparently the thing is controlled with a Xbox controller. Like literally the controls for the submarine are an Xbox controller.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
Apparently, it costs $250,000 to get a ticket to go aboard the submersible, which takes you down to the Titanic wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, if I paid $250,000 to see the Titanic in a small submarine, I'd probably change my mind if I saw they were using an Xbox controller for steering. Can't make this shit up. Sad story, these guys are probably done, however bad your day may be. At least you aren't stuck at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, they're more than likely all those people are dead.
Oh, yeah.
Because aside from the fact that, you know, obviously you got a limited amount of air and fucking no food and water aboard and all that kind of shit, they're fucked. Also comes down to the pressure too. Even if they get fucking rescued, like, they're probably gonna die in a horrible, horrible fashion.
JS, I don't know. I think the Suns are better than every other team the Bulls beat in the finals. Okay, go ahead, Snacks.
They're definitely up there. I would say, ranking the teams that the Bulls beat in the finals, I would say that the 97 Jazz were at the top. Then the Suns below them. Then the 98 Jazz. So Charles is in a Karl Malone sandwich. Then the Sonics.
Then you
And
have
the
the
Lakers.
Blazers and Blazers.
I put Clyde's Blazers at the bottom in terms of the amount of teams, in terms of the teams they beat, because Magic in '91 was still incredible, and James Worthy was fucking outstanding at this point in time.
I think they had AC Green, if I recall.
They might have, but that was still a very legit Showtime Lakers. Not only had they recently, Pat Riley's famous repeat call, So they're only 3 and 4 seasons removed from the repeat. And then, I think 89 they go back to the finals and lose to the Pistons.
Right,
Then
and
in
Kareem retires.
Right, then 90 they couldn't do it, and the Blazers make it, then they lose to the Pistons.
Right.
And then they make it back to the finals in 91, and then Jordan crushes them. So that was still a really good team, but Clyde's Blazers, Clyde was amazing. And Clyde's Blazers were definitely up there as one of the elite teams in the league during that whole time period. So when I say that they're ranked at the bottom of the teams that Jordan beat, I am not saying that they were bad. I'm just saying all those other guys are so incredibly fucking good, it's hard to put them over.
I mean, with the
Or
exception
under.
of LeBron's Cavs teams, most teams that make the finals are really good, right?
With the exception of every team that LeBron has ever made the finals. LeBron sucks. No, but yes, that's correct. Which is why I fucking hate as people are criticizing Miami a shitload right now because they didn't win. But it's like, dude, fucking. First of all, the Nuggets are incredible. Secondly, we absolutely kicked the shit out of everybody that we played on our way down here. Good God. Like, it is genuinely hilarious to me. We're already seeing people coping hardcore. They're like, okay, well, Milwaukee is definitely going to make it back to the finals. They're the team that's going to come out of the East this season. And they're saying this shit because they're like, well, they fixed the major problem they had at coaching. Like, genuinely, unironically saying that shit. But now they're sitting there saying, well, the only reason that they didn't win and Miami beat them, Miami got lucky because Giannis got hurt. It's like the same game Giannis got hurt in, he came back. And the same game Giannis got hurt in, Tyler Hero also got hurt in, and he never came back.
Keep underestimating Chalmers.
Yeah, people be hardcore coping. I think the Bucks are done. Their window has closed because getting rid of Budenholzer is going to haunt them big time. They got a massive downgrade at coach, and it's really going to hurt them. Plus, to be completely straight up, I really think there's a good chance Chris Middleton's dipping in free agency.
Yeah, he's got to make a decision soon.
Damn it, get back here.
The East seems like it's going to be pretty weak next year. Like, it feels like, especially after the Bradley Beal trade, all the talent has just congregated in the West outside of a handful of guys. It's like, I think that's why Boston may end up talking themselves into keeping the squad together. They're like, the East is not going to be great next year. Like, we might get a free trip to at least the ECF if we just keep things together.
Yeah, there was a lot of criticism for Pat last off season when we didn't make a big splash. You know, there was no big acquisition. There was a lot of criticism for him because they're like, what the hell? You know, we need something else to get past the hump. But then made the finals, and we did it in a Cinderella story as a fucking 8 seed and all that kind of crazy shit. But then we lost to the Nuggets, and it's all like we need something more to get past the Nuggets. But like with the
What
way that
you
our team
need to
is
get
set up,
past the Nuggets might not exist. It might not be out there.
and that yeah, exactly. So it's like I just don't really know what the fuck you do. You know? Yeah, you could easily fuck everything up by you know, blowing up the team essentially by trading a shitload of pieces to get somebody who's not going to make the difference. Because, I mean, somebody like Lillard is obviously an incredible player and would make a huge difference for us himself, but, he's not going to play 48 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, with how well our supporting cast has been playing, the historic season that they had and all that kind of crazy shit, plus, the lovely part where the new CBA is going to fuck us raw. Like, there's no way we're keeping the squad together in the first place. Which is why, you know, you want to do something, because it's like, yeah, you know, might as well get that done now before we just lose everybody anyway. Because, like, Jimmy's not leaving, Bam's not leaving, but, like, Struce and Martin are going to get big-time paydays. We can't afford to keep them. They balled out. Somebody's going to throw a ton of money at them. We can't afford to keep them. Fuck it.
Yeah, but you can replace those guys. I mean, those guys were in the second round. You can find other guys like that.
Exactly. And that's the point. So it's like, if we can trade them now for good assets, yes. But trading for somebody like Lillard, getting rid of Lowry, who is ancient and getting paid a ton of money, good move. Good move. Getting rid of Hero, horrible call. But you know, that's the whole fucking problem. I am so hungry.
All right, let me grind at this last level, and then I'll go to the next area. Does anybody else feel really disgusted when you win a championship in 2K and you have to have Obama meet you at the White House?
that was a good one.
I think that was a Cypher-ass.
And the answer is yes.
Cypher-ass.
I think so too. And then a lot of people got really mad at him because.
Yeah, well, no, the funny part was he said, like, I can't wait until next year when we can go meet President Jeb Bush.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Cypher-ass was great because Moogle actually liked him, and Cypher-ass is a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Are the Suns going to be good? I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be completely worn down by the time they get there. It's going to be like one of those Mike D'Antoni coach teams where the starters play 48 minutes every game.
You know, now that you say it, these guys actually should have hired... Wait, Mike D'Antoni's actively coaching another team, though, isn't he?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Because if he's not, they should have actually fucking picked up D'Antoni. Would have actually been a good move.
Yeah, dude, like fucking Durant and Beal would both have torn ACLs by like Christmas. See what Mike D'Antoni's up to right now, real quick.
Oh yeah, did you see what I sent you about Whiteside when
Yeah, I
when
saw
I was
that.
googling to see what he... That was hilarious.
Okay, he is currently working for the Pelicans as a coaching advisor.
What the hell's a coaching advisor?
Yeah, Pringles is awesome. I don't care what anybody says. That guy's a great coach. Pringles is awesome. A misunderstood genius. Or even the Islam Cleveland Cavaliers.
LeBron Stantinople.
An obvious slight towards LeBron's status as the greatest of all time. The other day I read, apparently Mehmed the Conqueror was only 21 when he sacked Constantinople. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Magic won Finals MVP when he was only 21.
Shit's definitely crazy.
According to The Ringer, the Blazers prefer Zion over Brandon Ingram if they decide to trade their pick to the Pels. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, wow. Brandon Ingram's out here being a fucking beast, plus he's actually playing the fucking games. It's like Zion, when Zion's on the court, he's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Zion's just never on the court. Like...
Yeah, having Zion might be fun, but not for the reasons that you would prefer.
Yeah, seriously. Having Zion Williamson playing for your team is very entertaining. Problem is, it's not entertaining because he's playing basketball.
Maria Mori, or whatever the name of that porn star is apparently sent more tweets about Zion Williamson than Zion Williamson has played in NBA games.
That is outstanding.
With a name like Zion, we all should have known that he was never going to amount to anything good. When you think about it.
U.S. military unit monitors social media for mean posts about current and former high-ranking officers. Wow.
For what purpose? Do they act on this information when they get it? Are they like, we need to go kill that guy because he fucking...
Yeah. Presumably. That's correct.
Apparently they've now added another like graphic on the rainbow flag to represent autistic people.
Oh God.
We're very close to them adding a symbol for people who like feet, I guess.
I swear to God, I think Stone Toss made that exact joke.
Wait a minute. I know this place. I've been here before. Didn't look this depressing. I could see a Nuggets versus Kings Western Conference final. That's actually not bad. Like, the Kings needed to get their feet wet. Maybe this is where they actually make a run.
That's literally what I predicted this year. Like...
And the Kings just weren't quite ready.
Well, it's not that. Like, they could have beat the Warriors, and I know that they would have beaten the Lakers. But they didn't beat the Warriors because Steph, out of nowhere, decided to actually act like himself, and then he couldn't do that against the Lakers. Totally bonkers shit.
Anything to do here? What if a cartoon said fart?
Oh, jeez, I don't know about this one, Rick.
What if a cartoon sort of stumbled over his words, but we left it in, and then he said big farts?
Jesus.
Have you not seen that video?
I'm looking for the foot thing on Stone Toss right now.
Oh, no, he tweeted it earlier today. I've seen the comic before.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure he tweeted it. If not him, then somebody who, like, basically mirrors him.
Yeah, he did. They added more colors to the pride flag again. Soon. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Good lord.
You know, they never get portrayed well in media, do they?
Who's they?
You know, feet people.
Oh, I was about to
It's
say
never a flattering
the
portrayal.
the Goyim no, shut it down. Oh yeah.
Like the thing from fucking House of the Dragon. I
Yeah.
think it set the movement back like 15 years single-handedly.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, damn it. I should have had that.
No! I just hear the name of Hassan Whiteside.
Yes.
Honestly, Whiteside's probably really good in 2K because he's such a good shot blocker. Like, his
Yeah,
stupidity
he's
doesn't reflect.
and that's exactly the thing is he had an extraordinary basketball body and tremendous athleticism. His only problem as a player was still what ended up fucking killing him is cuz he's stupid. He doesn't make good decisions. And when that's a player's weakness, that's very concerning in real life, but in 2K it's not at all a problem. So Whiteside's like a fucking god in 2K. Incredible at grabbing rebounds, like averages insane Dennis Rodman tier rebounding numbers, gets crazy amounts of blocks, and it's really easy to finish around the rim with him. Between that and the fact that just like in real life, he actually does have the ability to hit his fucking free throws at a really good rate. He's a really good center.
It highlights how tragic it is that he couldn't make it in the NBA.
Right, and it's all because he's an idiot.
Kind of like Andrew Bynum, I guess. Like, Bynum should have been really, really good for a long time, and he just didn't have. Too dumb.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that, man.
You know it's bad when even Kobe's disappointed in you. Ooh, Godfrey. Whoa, I'm not ready for a boss fight yet. Oh no. I'm dead. That's fair.
We can't buy a bucket, man. It's got a lid. All these rooms have lids, man. Both teams out here shooting below 20% from the field. Now, you'd think this was a crazy defensive battle, but seriously, we're just missing wide open shots. I cannot focus.
Boom, baby. First try. I was not even planning on fighting Godfrey yet. And we just pounded him into submission. Pound me in the ass, prison. I sentence you to 15 years in pound me into ash, prison.
Good lord.
That's from the TV edit of Office Space. Instead of pound me in the ass, prison, it's pound me into ash.
Oh, I thought it was find a stranger in the Alps prison.
That's another good one. No, Walter, I don't think he was just about to crack. You see the sign outside that says Dead African American Storage?
Oh god.
You know why you don't see a sign outside that says Dead African American Storage?
You're gonna get in trouble again.
Okay. Oh man, I need like 30 more runes. Okay. Let's get this level up in. Oh, wait a minute. I bet I can upgrade some stuff now. Or I could if I had any money, but... cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess.
Well, I took you for no matter. Lay out your arms.
Okay, we can do the Uchigatana. I just need to get a little bit of money together. Airi. Just gotta give me a little faith, Arthur. Larry Bird was black. He'd just be another good player. The thing is, nowadays, certain people get away with saying that about Jokic unironically, and nobody really thinks too hard about it.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins. Like, Kendrick Perkins was dumb as shit when he was a player. How did people think he was going to not be dumb as shit when he got a TV show? How the fuck did he get a TV show in the first place?
Well, I took youth no matter it.
That is
No
not
idea.
an intelligent man. Like, that is not an intelligent man.
Uh, the world may never know. I don't get it either.
Black or red, no matter.
Greetings, are you here for spirit tuning?
I don't know that Kendrick Perkins ever got a concussion, but I mean, he may as well be concussed for all intents and purposes. Alright, guys, I gotta take a short break. I'll be back in a few minutes. See you guys shortly. Okay, I am back. Ah. Hey, what's up here? But I took that personally. Another one? Aha. I knew one of these guys would try to sneak up on me. In fact, let me check something here real quick. Yeah. Kendrick Perkins did not go to college. He was straight out of high school to the NBA. So why is he getting an ESPN show?
None of that shit makes any sense to me. And he's so stupid, too.
I'm not saying going to college makes you smart. Not at all. Not even close. But still. It's not like it's any better to only go to high school. Yeah, right, guy.
No ideas.
So, earlier today, I asked Moogle the same question I asked you last night, if you could flip one NBA Finals result so the loser wins. And he said 2016 as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hatred for that result.
Because 73-9 and you're not going to win. Plus, fuck the Cavs, fuck Cleveland sports. I can't believe that shit happened. And just barnacles.
And fuck LeBron.
Exactly.
Dude, it would have been so funny if LeBron left Cleveland a second time without giving them a championship. And then
That
everybody
would have
got... I mean, could you imagine?
utterly hilarious.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones? God make them golden. The twin prodigies, Nicola and Melania.
God, I keep getting followed by randoms on Reddit.
Radon.
This is ridiculous.
Luna Princess Rani. Willful traitors. All. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled thy king Morgoth,
Damn it.
last of all kings.
More God.
What? Fucking stupid. What? No. Fucking. Wow. Platforming in this game is such fucking dog shit. Yeah, just phased directly through the fucking floor. That's awesome.
Already have him down to half health?
By my curse. Shall not be forgiven.
Why do I feel a second phase coming on? No? You gotta be kidding me. I've beaten 2 brand new bosses in a row. First try.
Tarnished. Thou art but a fool. The Erd Tree wards off all who deign approach. We are all forsaken. None may thy deed
Oh, really? You don't have the right? Interesting. Right, lady, tell me what to do.
Hello again, old friend. Allow me a moment to converse with you. You were unable to enter the Erd Tree, no? Prevented by the mantle of barbs. The thorns are impenetrable, a husk of the Erd Tree's being that spurns all that exists without. The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the Flame of Ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountain tops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you down the path to becoming Elden Lord. Shall I turn your rune? Let my hand share them with me. Your thoughts, your ambitions, the principles you would follow.
Alright. Ah! I can still do Juno? Thought for sure I wouldn't be able to. Tight. Remember one time I made a topic on the NBAB? If you had to bet your life on Derek Fisher making either a layup or a wide open three, which one would you choose? And I remember Earl posted like something like, I would trust Fisher with my life. Either would be fine. And if he missed, I would know that he meant for a greater purpose for me and go to my death happily. There's something like that. It was like peak classic Earl.
Right.
Did he actually
Quality stuff.
Did he actually close his account when he lost the account bet with you?
No, what he did is he took the shortcut, which is getting banned, but then he remade his account.
Did he get banned by posting a bunch of gay porn?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. He decided to post some Lakers erotica. That was how he got banned, though.
That's phenomenal. God, we had some good times there, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Spoken broken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you? In Marika's own words, O Radigan, leal hound of the Golden Order, thou art yet to become me. Thou art yet to become a god. Let us be shattered. Us, none other self.
Who wants to sex Matambo?
Presumably everyone. You know what? I feel like Melo should come out of retirement, play one more season on the Nuggets, and like not actually have to play, but just be there to collect a ring. Because I mean, he's obviously the answer is now Jokic, but Melo's still got to be the second best Nugget of all time.
Well, the funny thing is they both wear the same number. So, like, the Nuggets didn't retire Melo's number, and now he'll never get his number retired no matter what because it's going to get retired for Jokic first. Like, even, like, 50 years from now, if they're like, yeah, let's throw him a bone, they're like, no, we can't. Literally can't.
Exactly.
And I don't know how much these players really give a shit about having their numbers retired, but I imagine some of them give a shit.
I'm almost certain he'd happily just wear 7 again like he did with the Knicks. He probably identifies more strongly with that number than 15.
The second best Nugget of all time is Andre Miller.
Could you imagine?
Well, to, all the guys who were rooting for me to lose tonight, they got to get up tomorrow and go back to their lives and do whatever it is they do, and I'm just going to keep on doing what I want to do.
Practicing. An all-time moment in sports history.
Not a game, not a game, not a game.
Well, that was a hell of a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. This little boss fight against the Walker.
Oh, you're back on fall. Okay, I was like... You were talking about platforming earlier, and I was like, he's not still playing 2K, I guess.
The fucking platforming in Fallen Order. It's so bad.
I think any game that puts platforming in that isn't a platformer is just a bad idea. Like the last Doom did that shit.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Especially since games that are designed as platformers, like, actually have really good platforming.
They don't make very many of them anymore, though. They're all like retro 2D platformers. Nobody's making 3D platformers anymore.
Yeah.
I like to carry hot sauce in my purse. So Michael Jordan bought the Hornets for 180 million, and now he's selling them for 3 billion in this economy. Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Sure.
However, I'm sure he still views it. I was gonna say, I'm sure he still views it as a failure because he totally fucking sucked ass in his tenure as owner of the Bobcats turned Hornets.
I don't think they won a single playoff game. I think they made the playoffs a couple times and got swept every time.
No. As the Bobcats, yes. As the Hornets have won a playoff game or two. At the
Okay.
very least, in that 2016 series against the... Because I'm reasonably sure Purple Shirt Guy game was game... I
Oh,
want to say game
yeah.
6.
Yeah, Purple Shirt Guy game was game 6, you're right. What was up with that guy, by the way? Did we ever find out? Was he just trying to...
That was Yama. that was the main, like, when that shit happened, everyone was all like, I'm pretty sure that's Yama. Oh man.
On a scale of 1 to 100, how sure are you that Yama wasn't actually a girl?
102% with a 2% margin of error. Because that's the thing, is that they found him. Because when Yama claimed to be a girl in Yama's profile, they had pictures of themselves, supposedly, what were supposed to be pictures of them.
Yeah.
And when you did a Google image search for those pictures, they popped up on another website. It was govteen.com or something, which was like a support forum for teenagers to ask questions. And in that thread, it was a girl posted pictures of herself. She was complaining about having uneven breasts. She was like, is this a normal thing to have one boob is larger than the other? So after that happened, everyone was like, okay, look, either Yama's just some guy who happened to come across these pictures and then used them in his account, which is hilarious, or you're actually telling the truth and that's you, so now we're just going to call you uneven breasts. Which was mean, but still hilarious.
Yeah, what did he seek to gain from that? It's not like he was trying to pick up dudes and catfish people.
Who the fuck knows? Because like his weird, his fucking insanely weird attitude that he had in the various sports related boards that he was posting on was completely different than when he originally arrived. It was just to discuss anime, as you might imagine, based off of the name.
Yeah.
And that was the vast majority of his interaction with people was there. But then he showed up on the sports boards and got the opportunity to troll that way, and the rest is history. That's what I think it was. Is probably he just got the chance to troll a lot. That's my guess.
Yeah, what a fucking weirdo.
Tell me about it. But hey, it could always be worse. Alright, I told myself I was only gonna eat once today, but my fucking hands are shaking from being hungry, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some food.
Alright.
Oh, and how was your Juneteenth, Lamau?
Forgettable.
Before I forget, when they were the Charlotte Bobcats, they made the playoffs. The first time was the 2009-2010 season. They got swept by Dwight's Magic.
Yeah.
Then they made it again in 2014 when they had Josh McRoberts, and they were just calling themselves the Cats. And their uniforms were actually really nice, the little redesign that they used, but they only had that for one season, the redesign, because right after that they got approved to use the Hornets name again. But while they were using it, those uniforms were pretty good. Then they became the Charlotte Hornets again, and then, yeah, that 2016 season with Purple Shirt Guy was a 7-game series, and they lost to Miami. So they at least won some, so they have 3 playoff game wins since becoming the expansion franchise Bobcats.
And no series
And
wins.
no series wins. That was the last time that they even made the playoffs. They haven't made the playoffs in 7 seasons.
Pretty depressing.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'll go get some food because I wanted to say all that before I forgot about it.
Right.
Be right back.
Um, no, I didn't, Rye Guy, but that doesn't really surprise me. Has it been released to the public? Really? That's a fucking dead end? I did that fight for a dead end, huh? That'd be funny. What the hell was Zion thinking, letting himself get recorded having sex? Why would you do that? Okay, what do we got? I don't really want to do this. Yeah, I'm not doing this. I don't think I need to. So how do we get over there? Peanuts. Oh yeah, so we had a rat today in our backyard. Our dogs were kind of acting weird, so we went over there to look, and there's a big fucking rat. And it was already injured, I guess, because it was just standing there waiting to get eaten. So we killed it and chucked it over the fence. Can I drop down there? Doesn't look like it. I mean, steer first to not have success, but you know. Oh god, there are two of them. No, 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 no. Screw off. I am not fighting two of these assholes at once. That's not gonna happen. Ever. No, fuck off. Leave me alone. Let's see if we can do the drop down over there. Oh. Gino for MVP, thank you for the 8 bits. All right, thank you. Do you think Bryant could take MJ's spot? Not based off the camp that MJ supposedly had. Apparently, Jackson looked really good. So, it doesn't seem like that's likely right now. Maybe he's probably got more talent. Probably, but I don't think so. Not yet. Okay, so how do I get over there, man? Let's try. What do you mean? Thank you, Gino. Oh yeah, this is the dead end. Yeah, I don't think this is going to do me any good. Wait, who's aggroed? Who's aggroed? Huh, somebody's aggroed. Is it you? Yeah, I can believe that. I remember back before the dark times going into EDP's YouTube streams one night, and it was flying. It was like, forget chats coming in every couple seconds. He had donos coming in every couple seconds. Which, to me, makes it all the crazier that he blew it.
Talking about LeBron being a bottom again?
No.
Oh.
Like, I'm talking about EDP.
Oh.
I was just talking about how, you know, he had it made to the point where all he had to do was turn on a stream and donos would just start pouring in basically immediately, and they would just be a constant flow. Like, the easiest life imaginable, and then he punted it because, you know.
He was a pederast?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm surprised he doesn't push harder during June to accept maps as part of the Alphabet Soup Agency.
Well, JS, that's kind of interesting because EDP, I know there are plenty of sponsors that are willing to work with guys that are clearly not safe for work and are very, you know, controversial. But EDP takes it so far, I don't know if anybody would be willing to work with him even if he wasn't a pedophile.
Aren't you supposed to say PDF file
Or whatever.
when
Yeah,
we're on stream?
yeah, PDF file.
I mean, it's not that the Twitch Gestapo's going to come after us so much as someone's pointy ears will be burning. They'll hit us with a heart attack gun before you know it. Squeezy bottle.
Yeah, JS, to my recollection, he had bought his sister like a Mercedes or something. Like, he was rolling in it. And the thing that really sucks about it is it was honestly, like, in some ways a really cool story because he didn't have a production crew, he didn't have incredible, like, inside sources, he didn't have, like, nepotistic advantages. He just made videos on YouTube about whatever was on his mind, and it made him rich. Like, there was a aspect to his story that was really cool. Like, he literally made videos about how jacking off should be considered a sport.
Why?
Yeah, here, I just sent you the link.
Alright, I'll check that out. Jesus Christ. Morbidly obese black man wearing sunglasses with that fucking YouTube title. Good lord.
Another video that was titled Top 200 Porn Stars, and actually read off a list of his top 200 favorite porn stars on camera.
200, Jesus Christ.
I could name maybe 5.
If you're wondering, that's me coming to near the end of my bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's. We're running low.
Remember, guys, donate to the channel so Snacks can afford some new barbecue sauce. I should set up a stream goal. For like $6.99, so Snacks can afford barbecue sauce.
Exactly. For just pennies a day, you too can afford to feed a poor African child named Snacks.
You should do a Kickstarter. Help Snacks buy a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
$100,000 in donations within the first 15 minutes. Like, well, guys, I guess I'm laundering money now. How many bottles of Sweet Baby Ray's buy with $100,000? Oh, there's no easy Walmart thingy or Google thingy. Okay, so here I'll just look at Walmart. Says $2.18 on Walmart.com for a bottle, 18 ounce. 1,000 divided by 2.18. I could buy 45,871 bottles of Sweet Baby Ray's with 100 grand.
Well, you know, with a deal like that, you'd be stupid to not take full advantage.
Exactly. That's what I would do. Is I would get a truckload of fucking Sweet Baby Ray's, multiple truckloads, 45,000 bottles worth, and post all that shit to Twitter. Be like, I'm donating this all to charity so that way I don't need to pay taxes on the 100 grand.
Gino for MVP? I don't think so. Especially not the Aaron Donald thing. The Rams are not trading Aaron Donald to a division rival. That's goofy. I don't see it.
People tried using that as an explanation to justify why the Wizards didn't trade Beal to the Heat by saying, well, they're not going to trade him to a division rival. And then this beautiful son of a bitch in the comments told him how stupid that is. He's all like, your division rival is the ones that you play more than any other teams in your schedule through the season. So if you're rebuilding and trying to tank, isn't that the guys that you would want to make stronger? Because that just means more losses for you.
That's pretty good. Didn't you say the stream was for kids, JS? Like literally a 4 kids stream and he's showing a BJ video on Twitter? That's questionable.
Oh god. Well, I mean, it is Pride Month. He's probably claiming it's for educational purposes, when really it's just the barely disguised grooming that this month celebrates.
Oh, 18 plus. Okay. That makes it okay, I guess. Although I imagine some people might have, like, blowjobs might be like their trigger or something.
Whoa! I did not expect that to happen.
But
I'm looking at my Steam overlay. I'm seeing game news. First of all, Halo the Master Chief Collection has actually made a post about Juneteenth, which is hilarious. But Viscera cleanup detail offered an update talking about the future of VCD.
oh, really?
So I'm looking at this.
If they could just let you turn off the RNG on the bucket machine, I think we'd probably be playing that game to this day.
Probably, yeah. Huh. Well, they're trying to make the game more mod compatible. They're also working on updating to Unreal Engine's Unreal Engine 4 and 5.
Oh, that would be like almost a whole new game.
Oh, because they're porting the... Hold on. Sounds like they're porting the game to consoles. Existing VCD as it stands will be unaffected and will remain on Steam as is. The new port will be built on Unreal Engine 4 and later during development and long before release moved over to Unreal Engine 5. That may actually happen quite soon depending on what we need from the engine. Its code base is being remade and some content will be upgraded as a result of the new engine's requirements. It has some new features and improvements, so it's somewhere between a port and a remake at this point. Possibility of pivoting it to a full-blown sequel is not off the table, and to that end we've been doing a lot of experimenting and have no shortage of ideas. It will not be free, as it represents a massive investment. If it ends up being just a port or a remake, we'll do all we can to ensure existing owners of VCD get a reduced price, and possibly also some perks. Interesting.
Because there were actually a few expansion packs for Viscera that we didn't play because we were kind of sick of it by the time we beat it.
Right. Matter of fact, let me Google that shit.
Whoa. What the heck? Oh shit. A boss fight. I wasn't ready for no boss fight.
Interesting. Apparently, you can manually go into map editors and change the config file to make it so that the gore doesn't get produced by...
Oh, really?
Yes.
I wonder if that would work for multiplayer.
I'm going to spend the night Googling.
Okay.
You could also play the maps on speedrun mode, which doesn't allow you to collect items or receive level stats, but who the fuck cares? We don't care about that shit.
Yeah.
So if you played in speedrun mode, it would disable it. Because it's literally RNG, so it would make it unfair. Imagine if you have a perfect run and then you end up having the run be cost because RNG decided to pump out a fucking...
I mean, didn't that literally happen to one guy? It happened 3 times in a row and cost him the record.
Yeah, so then they made a speedrun mode specifically to disable that from all maps.
It's good.
And a number of custom maps on the Steam Workshop, the people who made it had that manually deleted.
God
which is
dang it.
cool.
So close to doing it first try. Go.
You know, I'm looking at this video right now. It says why the 2011 Dallas Mavericks were not able to repeat, and the answer is obvious: is because a lot of the players who were instrumental in that title run ended up leaving because Cuban needed to free up the cap space so that he could make a run at getting De Groin and Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Which would have been fantastic, but obviously, you know, they whiffed massively, and it cost them almost a decade of relevance. So the question here is if they'd actually kept that team together instead. If Cuban was like, you know, we just won a ring, fuck it, let's just keep this squad together and keep trying. Do you think they'd have been able to repeat?
Well, the thing is, I would say no, because a big part of what they did in the playoffs that year was because they just shot inhumanly good in crunch time. Like, they made like 70% of their threes in like close games at the end of the fourth quarter. Like, that's not replicable. Maybe you get to like 45 or 50, but you're not going to shoot like they did. It's not replicable.
Plus, a lot of those guys were very old and saw like massive drop-offs just in that one season. For instance, Jason Kidd. So even though you had an instance where in the 2012 season Tyson Chandler goes to the Knicks and then wins Defensive Player of the Year, that's not enough to offset so many of the other players regressing. However, I think they'd gone deep.
Yeah.
But they would have eventually just lost to OKC again. The same way they did in the real life postseason, just in the first round.
That was the first year that... Was Mike Brown the coach of the Lakers that year, I think? That sounds right.
Yeah. When they famously had Kobe do the where he was staring at Mike Brown, he was fucking staring daggers at him, so they made that of him like fucking his eyes caught fire or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. That Lakers team was actually still surprisingly good, even though this was lockout year and they traded Odom already.
Yeah, they tried to trade for CP3, right?
Yeah, and once basketball reasons happened, Odom basically died of a lonely heart because he was so devastated they wanted to trade him that he just said, "Fuck it, get rid of me." Like, what's crazy when you think about it in long-term perspectives, what's crazy is they would have sent, I think it was Pow to the Rockets as part of that giant trade.
Yeah.
So Pow would have gone to the Rockets. Imagine if Pow's on the Rockets and then they still get Harden the season after.
And they get well, in that scenario, do they get Howard?
The Rockets probably would not get Dwight in that instance. However, Dwight never wanted to go to Houston in the first place. It's just where he ended up after his plans to go to. Initially, he wanted to go to Dallas with Duran, that whole plan and everything. But then Duran got traded to New Jersey, and then he wanted to stay there. So at that point, Dwight requested to go to New Jersey, and Orlando said, fuck you, and they traded him to the Lakers because the Lakers were salivating at the opportunity to get him.
Mm-hmm.
At which point he just said, fuck it, I'm going to go whoever's going to pay me the most and I have the best chance of winning. And going to Houston, play with James Harden just seemed like a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that team probably... Like, that team probably should have won one ring. It's kind of a historic fluke they didn't.
The year with 27 straight missed threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it hadn't have been for literally a once-in-a-lifetime level of choking and ineptitude, they would have done it that year. So I don't know if that was the 2017 or 2018 Rockets, but they'd have done it then.
It was 2018.
Okay.
2017 was the year the Warriors should have swept the playoffs if not for the one game they lost to Cleveland.
And that was one of the worst ref games of the season. And there was a massive disparity in free throws for the Warriors and the Cavs. And everyone's like, do you think the NBA rigged this one? And then the report came out that if the finals had only gone 4 games instead of at least 5, it would have cost the NBA hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, plus because they failed to meet the terms of what they had promised in the TV deal. All the salary caps would have had to be reduced immediately just based off of that. So it would have fucked basically the entire league. Plus, you lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And with all that salary cap situation getting fucked, God only knows how badly that would have damaged the league in the seasons to come. Versus not affecting the series at all, but just giving the Cavs a free win. And then they just get absolutely molested in Game 5 anyway. Like, that it's like the most obvious case of rigging ever. Like, just no one should argue it.
Thank you, Seahawks fan. Appreciate it. Okay. We're kind of cruising through this game right now, ain't we? Like, what level am I now? 95. I read something that said that in order to realistically beat the game, you got to get to, like, level 120. So I don't think I'm super close to beating it, but I think we're getting there. You know, for some reason in my brain, I remembered the time that Kobe used that word, the F word.
Mhm.
I thought he was yelling at Joachim Noah for some reason. I always thought it was Joachim Noah that he was calling that. I did not know it was a referee. So
Oh.
today I learned.
To be fair, he was calling everyone that. Absolutely everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Gonna slam and welcome to the jam.
Man. That's just despicable.
What?
Now, I hadn't been paying close enough attention to Dwight and the league in general. So I'm looking on Dwight's Wikipedia page, the stuff I missed. Good gravy, man. He declines a huge player option to become an unrestricted free agent after 3 seasons in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And then he signs with the Hawks the season after the Hawks had like this fucking incredible performance. He's all like, yeah, they're just a Dwight Howard away from being a championship winner. Like literally running to the Eastern Conference to have an easier time at the playoffs with them. Despicable.
Well, didn't he want to go to Atlanta because of the strip clubs? Then again, he was already in Houston. It's not a huge upgrade or
Yeah.
anything.
He was from Atlanta, which the Wikipedia article attributes as being the reason, but I mean, come on. Then after 1 season, the Hawks traded him.
Yeah. I forgot how big of a locker room cancer he was, like, by the end. Like, by the end, it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, when he signed with the Lakers the second time,
Oh!
it was like a big thing.
That reminds me, I don't know if I told you this, but because now this is something I did tell you about and you knew about it. My coworker, his brother is like apparently close personal friends with Dwight.
Right.
And has some interesting insight and stuff on the league because of that. And he was telling me about the bubble year because that's when Dwight actually won a ring. And Dwight was all like, "Dude, the bubble sucked so much ass. There's no way that any of the things that happened that season could be replicable because the conditions were like." Everyone wanted to go home because it was a hellhole. It was a complete hellhole. It was basically run like North Korea, and LeBron was like the loudest, biggest voice for keeping things like North Korea, which is hilarious because that's when LeBron won a ring, and Dwight was like, "Yeah, that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the bubble. That wouldn't have happened." Because, I mean, when you think about it in that perspective, you're like, yeah, you're right. These guys are like, they're literally locked up and being forced to play basketball. I could completely see a lot of guys just phoning it in and wanting to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they did the best they could, given the way things were at the time, but when you look at how good teams were shooting from, like, 3 in that bubble, with the exception, oddly enough, of Danny Green, who shot terribly from 3 in the bubble for some reason.
Yeah.
It does really make you wonder.
Yeah. So Dwight, at the very least, thinks that there's no way they'd have won. And I don't mean Lakers versus Heat in a playoff series outside of the bubble. I just mean there's no way the Lakers would have even made the finals, let alone won a championship, if it hadn't been for the bubble. That's Dwight's own perspective.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious that he described the bubble as being like North Korea.
Yeah. Like, recently I was talking with Moogle, and we were talking about the greatest finals performances ever. I was, like, trying to rank them. And so I put together a list of, like, the 25 best finals performances ever, and one of them on the list was 2020 LeBron. And he basically said, I understand the stats say it's one of the greatest ever, but I can't take anything that happened in the bubble seriously, so...
Yeah.
I don't feel like that should be that, or at least it shouldn't be that high, right? Which I agree with, but I think it should be on the list.
Be on the list, just with a big asterisk.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the entries have asterisks, whatever.
Asterisks.
Yeah. Like, fucking Shaq had probably the best finals performance ever, and he made 38% of his free throws. That's a pretty big asterisk. God, I can't pronounce that word all of a sudden. Asterisks. God, I'm all fucked up now on it.
Asterisk.
Asterisk. Asterisk.
Asterisk.
Dude, I
This can't be
can't make
serious.
the fucking sound. My tongue will not cooperate.
In that last syllable, there's another S sound. Asterisk.
Asterisk. Asterisk.
There you go.
There we go.
Asterisk.
Fucking weird. I just couldn't make the right sound.
I was like, you having a stroke? Good lord. So after one season, now it's funny because he signed a 3-year, $70 million contract with the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
After 1 year, they trade him to the Hornets. And after 1 year, the Hornets trade him to the Wizards. And they traded him... oh, wow. He finally ended up on the Nets. Because the Hornets actually didn't trade him to the Wizards. They traded him to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Timofey Mozgov, draft rights to Hamidou Diallo, a 2021 second-round draft pick, and cash considerations. Then he was immediately waived by the Nets upon being acquired. So, like, that contract's already hilarious. So then he signs with the Wizards, missed all of training camp, every exhibition game, and the first 7 regular season games. Oh my god, this article. It actually says, with a sore backside.
Maybe Dwight Howard
Wow.
was the bottom all along.
Exactly. He appeared in 9 games in November before missing the rest of the season after undergoing spinal surgery to relieve pain in his glutes. In March 2019, it was revealed that Howard, in addition to his back injury, was also dealing with a hamstring issue. And then he picked up his player option. They didn't give him a chance because in the offseason they traded him to the Grizzlies for forward C.J. Miles. Straight up Dwight Howard for C.J. Miles. What a name. And never played for the Grizz because they immediately waived him. So then he signed a veteran's minimum contract to go play with LeBron. Oh my god.
That bubble Lakers team would have been the greatest team ever if it was 2013 instead of 2020.
Seriously.
Oh shit! Where'd you fuckers come from?
And now he's just loving life in Taiwan.
Apparently, the Taiwan team he plays for tried to cut his pay by like 65%. So he's probably going to come back this year because he can get way more money in America now.
Well, considering Taiwan's about to be a war zone, you don't need to use money as an excuse. I don't think.
Yeah, I kind of want him to come back. It's kind of fun to have him around as much as he's, you know...
Yeah.
I don't think he lived up to his potential. Like, he should have been rich man's David Robinson, and he never got there.
Yeah. It was all fucking, it was all the Lakers' fault, man. Because, he came back early from an injury, and he shouldn't have. Because it was a back and shoulder injury. And those are the two muscle groups you least want to fuck with when they're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He came back too early, and he caused severe damage, and that shit, he's never been the same. Never will be again.
Yep.
Utterly killed him. Then, that shit I was reading about, the fucking spinal issue, like, that's pretty serious. Like, he literally couldn't feel his ass. I mean, try to think about being a professional athlete when, even though your legs are working, you actually can't feel, like, a large portion of your body from the waist down. Because that's terrifying for us that live a somewhat sedentary lifestyle. For a professional athlete, man, that's gotta be fucking crazy.
Yeah. The thing that intrigued me the most about him when he was coming out was apparently he was such a pure Christian that he would never think about messing with things like strippers and hookers and having a bunch of babies with different women. And then it's like, no, he went the exact opposite way.
Yeah, it's when Kobe baptized him that he filled him with a love of strange women.
I would have loved to have been in the room for some of those Laker team meetings the year they had Kobe and Dwight. Kobe must have gotten so fucking pissed at him. Talk about oil and water. What is your opinion of the NBA banning straight from high school to NBA players?
I think on the whole, it's a good thing. But, some of these guys just need to stay in there for longer regardless.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I think they should increase the rule to you have to be 2 years removed from high school.
I feel like that's going to happen eventually.
Because, like, when these guys come into the league and they're 19, who the fuck dominates at 19? Like, it doesn't matter how likely it is that you're going to be good. Giannis is a good example. Giannis played in the Euro League. You know, he didn't go to college here in America. He just played in the Euro League, and his rookie season was so, like, mid to become that the Bucks unironically drafted Jabari Parker, who plays the exact same position as Giannis, the year after. So they had his whole rookie season, and then they draft Jabari Parker anyway.
I mean, the best rookie year
Then
ever for a straight out of high school guy's LeBron, right?
Yeah. So you look at Giannis in that regard, and I'm pretty sure the season right after that he wins Most Improved Player. And it's all like, this guy should have just had an extra year. You know, his body just needed to keep fucking growing. He wasn't ready yet. And that happens with so many different dudes in the league. Like, if they just had one extra season, or 1 extra year outside the NBA. You know. Blech. Let's see.
But there are always
No,
exceptions.
he was most improved player after. Hold on. In 2017. So his 2014 season to 2015, he still sucked. Okay, never mind.
Greetings.
And good lord.
Well, I took you've known how to lay out your own.
Then they give him the ball more. He needs to stop trying to take threes, dude. God damn. He's a terrible three-point shooter.
Yep.
Has that just been load management or what? He hasn't played 70 games in 5 years.
I think it's load management. Like, except for really young players, everybody gets load managed.
I guess. Good lord.
Wait a minute. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.